Welcome to the MaintSmart evaluation video number 4. This series of evaluation videos are for demo users that are perhaps evaluating the MaintSmart program, or even newer users that are just beginning to use the program. In this video, we're going to go over some basic tips and some shortcuts that you can use on the work order screen. So I'm going to go ahead, and I was already logged in as administrator, so I think I'm just going to stay logged in. And I'm going to go to the work order screen. And when the screen opens, I'll notice I have all my data in the data grid. I'm pretty much seeing everyone's data in here. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to look at some print options. So I'll go to the File menu item, Print Options. All right, so a couple of them here I want to look at. If I pick Send to Printer, this is going to cause, anytime I bring up a work order in a print preview screen, to bypass the preview and go straight to whatever printer I've defined. So if you click on this, what's going to happen is you'll end up with a check mark next to it, and this will be a user default. Now let me show you the default behavior if that's not checked. You click on a row, right click, and if you just pick print preview, it's going to come up in a print preview, then you're going to have to click print. So it's kind of two steps there. So that might save you some time if you just want to send it straight to a printer. Okay, so another print option that you may like to take advantage of, print work order after save. So as soon as you edit or create a new work order and click the save button down here at the bottom, it's going to automatically send the work order to the printer. Or bring it up in a print preview based on your setting here. And finally, print attachments with work order. What this is going to do, if you click on this, and again, this is a user setting, so it's going to persist between sessions. It's going to take all of your file attachments down here at the bottom, regardless of what program opens them, whether it be Excel, Microsoft Word, Adobe Acrobat, or any other program for that matter, and it's going to iterate through the list of attachments, and it's going to attempt to print them. So it's going to bring them up in a print screen and then issue the underlying program, Excel, Word, etc., a print command, and then close that program. So it's pretty powerful feature in the program. Okay, so that's some of your print options. Another one that's used quite a bit, and this is just a minor thing, but sometimes it's helpful, is if you pick the View Active Work Orders Only. So if you do that, all you'll see is your actives. And a lot of times you come in, you don't really care about anything but what you have active in front of you. So you'll pick that. Again, that's another user setting that's tied to your login. Don't forget to uncheck it. We often get a support call, where'd all my other work orders go? All I see is actives. And typically it's because this was checked and they forgot to uncheck it. Okay, so let's look at limiting the amount of data in the data grid here. Now, by default, there's a setting that can be made under the program configuration screen that essentially only the administrator has access to, that essentially tells each screen that has a date component to it. And in this case, we have 2 date components, actually 3. How many days back from today, whatever today happens to be, to go back when loading this screen. So in this demo program, we have it set very high at almost 10,000 days. As we can see here under the options menu, display records, 9,990 days back from today. Now that may be way more than you want to see in the work order screen. So as a user that's lower than administrator, you can actually set this to something less than whatever the maximum, we call it the maximum query days, is set at. So we could set it at something lower. Something more reasonable might be 30 days. And we would see 30 days worth of data in our work order screen. Much more manageable that way. If you're an administrator higher, you could set it beyond the standard program-wide setting. So I'll go ahead and put it back where it was. Okay, couple of other filtering things. These grids, they do a lot of various things as far as filtering. You can size these columns and save them that way. I think for now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to go to the priority column header, and this top bar is what I'm calling the column header. Our data is arranged in columns, and rows, each row representing one work order. And suppose I just want to look at my urgent priority. I can right-click right in the middle of that column header and pick Quick Grid Search and type in urgent. And as I type, it pulls those up. Now this will search anywhere within that text string, not just the beginning. Okay, another way to search would be, and let's try something different here. Let's try, we'll try task. Say, for example, we know the word gauge is in the task. We can't remember if it's adjust gauge, set gauge, or what it is. Okay, in that case, what we could do is we can click on this other little arrow right here on the far right of the column header, and then go down to our text filter, click on that, and then we can say, well, I know the text contains the word gauge. If I type that in, I could use that. I could also use an and or. Okay, but I'm just going to go with this for now. I click apply, and notice it picks up all of the tasks where the word gauge was in the task. And it's not necessary that it's at the beginning of the text string, which is pretty nice. Okay, so that's a couple ways you can do that. Let me refresh this. So to reload all the data here, I can just right-click in the grid area, and that's anywhere within this square. And again, this applies to every screen in the program, not just the work order screen. And I get the context menu that pops up. I pick refresh. That reloads everything. Okay, one other way of determining what data shows up in the grid, a pretty common one is perhaps the user only wants to see work requests because they want to come in, pull up all the requests, elevate them to active status, and then they're done setting up their work for the day. So how would we do that? Well, I see right here I have one request here. Hopefully there's some more in here. But in any event, the best way to do that would probably be to right-click in the data grid and pick the filter grid menu item. And when I pick that, I get a little pop-up screen. And what I want is the status, wherever the status is equal to request, okay? And this date range will be a floating date range, so it'll go back however many days back that is from today out to today, which happens to be August 19th, 2019. If I wanted to go in advance, I would go out further. But the point is, it's not going to use these literal dates when I save this filter. It's going to use a floating date range. So I click apply, and when I do that, I see that I have 2 work requests in here, and I can go ahead and save this now if I want to reuse it. So I'll go to Save Filters, click New, give it a name, Requests, and I'll go ahead and save that. And after I've saved it, if I exit this screen and then come back to the work order screen later, I'll notice, oh, I have that filter saved. So I can just click on it, take my work orders one at a time, elevate that to active, save it, elevate the next one to active, save that, and once the screen's empty, I know I've done all of my work requests, elevated them all to full work order status. Okay, so that's a few tips. There's one last thing I'd like to show, and there's a few different components to this, but I'll just show you the result. And essentially, you can set up your users to only see their own work. And I'd be glad to demo this with an online demo if you want to call or email or chat and just say, hey, I want to follow up on this evaluation video number 4 and learn how do I actually set up the program to where it only shows each employee their own work. But I'll show you the result for now. So if I log in as a basic user, and this basic user we put on this bypass login, this is Bill Green, and he is one of our mechanics, technicians, or whatever you want to call them. Click OK, and MaintSmart opens to the work order screen automatically because we set that screen to be Bill's default screen, and it also only shows his work orders. Okay, so I hope you found this useful. Give us a call if you'd like more on this. We're happy to do a free online demonstration with you. Thanks for watching.